All right, let's dive on into some historic here. This Grixis aggro deck is card for card currently what is up on my website at this very moment. I'm sure if you're watching this at some point in the future, that may or may not change, especially after we finish the set. Sometimes we'll make some adjustments. The one big change I've made to this archetype, and it's not even a big change, it's a small change. The one change I've made, and I did this to most of the decks on my website recently, is Naya Winota is a real deck in Historic that you need to respect. And I think if you have access to red mana, not playing some number of Redcap Melees right now in Historic is a mistake. Redcap Melee, Noxious Grasp, you want probably 3 to 6 ways to kill Winota at instant speed for 1 to 2 mana. I think Redcap's actually the only 1 mana card that kills Winota in the format. These two are both very reasonable though. Overall, this deck is kind of a mid-range aggressive deck. Oh, Reckless Rage. Yeah, Reckless Rage is the other one. Yep. So we've got some 1-drops here, and then we've got some Rotting Regisaurs and some Embercleaves. This deck occasionally goes a little bit long when it floods out a little bit and gets to flip Nicol, Bolas, the Ravager over here. We've also got Kroxa, Titan of Death's Hunger to grind here a little bit. And Ashiok, Dreamrender, is actually a card I really love in this format. Not only does Ashiok static text prevent searching for things like the Golos decks, but Ashiok fills our graveyard up, and always exiles their graveyard regardless of who you target. So this is main deckable graveyard hate that serves as an enabler for our 7 escape cards here nicely. So let's go ahead and pop it into a historic constructed event with this one and see how it goes. A variation of this archetype made a deep run in the first Hoaglandia Hoots tournament. First Hoaglandia Open. Yeah, there's a ton of great 2-mana cards that kill Winota in this format. One mana cards are at a premium. Rough set opening hands. This hand's great. Super reasonable. Get to curve 1, 2, 3. Hopefully they play Land War Elves on 1 and we get to stomp it. Or a Pulp Collector or something. Does Grafdigger's Cage stop Winota? It does stop Winota's trigger. The problem with Grafdigger's Cage as opposed to creature removal is the fact that... The problem with Grafdigger's Cage as opposed to creature removal is that Grafdigger's Cage doesn't stop you from just dying to their creature beatdown, which is a real problem. Yeah, I mean, they have answers to it too, but like, the reason why the Winota deck is good is they just attack people. In fact, speaking of, this could be a Naya Winota variation. We haven't tested it on stream, but I've seen people testing Collector in that archetype. I think this Grixis deck is very good. Asking about Grixis decks in this format. Anniversary Timeout. Thanks for the entire year of support, Leak Eater. Welcome back. I appreciate it. What does Winota lose by playing Collector? In the main deck, you lose Domri or Lead the Stampede. The problem is that if you're not giving up your companion in the post-board games, you're super far behind in the Winota Mire, not having access to Redcap Melee. Yep, confirmed Winota deck. Alright, gotta dodge some bullets here, chap. If they hit a Marauder, we're probably dead. Yep, just dead. The opponent's archetype is very, very good. It's fitting that that happened to us after I did my "you need a plan for this" speech to start the deck off, so that's nice. We just do that, Grasp and Redcaps in, trim the Planeswalkers, a little bit of my grind ability. Is this a Dragon God matchup? It could be. For the record, I think a deck like Winota existing in this format is a net positive for the format. I think it's very similar to what Splinter Twin did for Modern for a long time. You can look at, I updated the Field of the Dead deck, Yarok Field on my website the other day with tools for the Winota matchup. Instant speed removal, Heartless Act, Assassin's Trophy, Noxious Grasp. These are a few of your favorite things. One and 2 mana pieces of interaction are your best things you could be doing against Winota. Fast combo decks that are easily disrupted by cards people want to play in their main deck anyways is good. Cards that reward people for being interactive are good things for the format. That's actually the same reason why Luris is good for Modern, in my opinion. Luris is a card in Modern that rewards people for being interactive. No, Moldy Lock. Something that's good, I like to repeat it because a lot of people don't understand this. The decks that I maintain on my website are living deck pages. It's not like Goldfish or MTGO Top 8 where it's a snapshot and I forget about them. If a deck is on my website, it is regularly updated as the format changes. The goal of my website is, well, the real goal of my website is to drive traffic to my content. But the best way to do that, I think, is to have a place where people can go and know, okay, all of the deck lists on this website are going to be regularly updated. That's my intention. Where you can go to my website and know all of these decks on Jeff's site are current. I don't have to think about it. I can just copy them and go. Correct. Some of the pages I take down because I don't want to maintain them anymore. So like my Modern deck pages, I believe they're still indexed on Google and they're still public, but they're not linked on my main navigation anymore. And the standard pages have a disclaimer that they're no longer being updated. Yes, or you can look at gameplay examples to go, okay, is this something I'm interested in spending my wild cards on? It's super, super true. I'm not planning to play standard legal decks in Historic, no. Most standard decks probably have decent upgrades in Historic, though. Yeah, I think that's the plan. Well, do I want to do that, or do I want to pass here? I think I just pass, because if they Winota, I grasp the Winota, and if they don't Winota, I grasp this at end of turn. So I think the play here is just do this. What matchups do you side in Ferocidon for? Field of the Dead. Do I have click-through rate for my website? I don't have stats offhand, no. Actually, I probably should install a WordPress plugin that tracks that kind of stuff. Ferocidon is also good against the white life gain deck. Yep. That is true. That's actually a deck that I feel like's been pretty underrepresented on the ladder recently. It's not one I've seen a lot of, at least. I'd actually rather have Kroxa than Phoenix here. Can you expand on why you red capped the War Boss? Is it because we were discarding it to Regisaur? Yeah, one War Boss is going to create chump blockers, which makes my Regisaur worse. Two, there's an incentive to get my hand empty while I have Regisaur in play, because my Regisaur is going to chew through my hand. I can just tweet at you every time I click on something on the website. Something like that. Hey, Lord, thanks for the sub gift. I appreciate it. Welcome to Preed. This is a mulligan. And, like, it has a good curve. Like, it goes 2, 3, 4. And, like, doesn't mind discarding Kroxa. Well, I have a few standard decks left in the queue. We're gonna finish my commitments. Unless people want to swap. It's a sneaper. So, like, in the dark, this is a sneaper. Against an opponent that's potentially, yeah, like, there's a real consideration to, one, I could miss land drops, and two, I don't have any of my interaction for their Winota. Let's try and race them. It might be right to mulligan this. I would not fault someone for mulliganing this in this matchup. What problem do you think my deck has that is solved by adding Lazav to it? What card would you recommend I cut from my deck in order to add Lazav in? Alright, well, we hit our lands. Rotation happens in the fall. Don't Winota me. Don't Winota me. Don't Winota me. Brick one more turn. Brick one more turn. Brick one more turn. Brick one more turn. Well, that's like a brick, right? They have to block both of these, right? Cleave ho! Attach Splinter Twin to Deceiver Exarch. Never not dead to cleave, chat. Never not dead to cleave. Opponent had a slow start, and we were able to get him. The old turn for you. Call the police, there's been a robbery. Zoom, zoom, zoom. Yeah, zoom, zoom, zoom. Yeah, zoom, zoom, zoom. It's better than Twin. Twin always costs 4 and his sorcery speed. Ain't that the truth? That's a great pickup. Okie doke. Girl it is. No blocks. Okay. Looking to draw an untapped land in our next 2 draws. I believe all of our lands are untapped at this point. Well, it's not too specific. Perfect. Alright, so this is like 1,000% at Embercleave, right? So we trade here and then we take a little bit of damage. Really? You're just letting me eat your thing? Deal. Deal. We take those. If I attack, I die to Domri's ambush. Probably dead to Domri's ambush regardless, though. Yeah, I saw Fox. You're good. I definitely remember you doing that now that you mentioned the decks. And I forgot to I'll get them added. At least they're decks for new cards, right? So it's not like they would have gotten played already. But I appreciate the poke. And this is the part where we pivot and win the game. I think this deck's got a pretty reasonable Gruul matchup, as exemplified here. They had a pretty reasonable start, and our curve was just, like, able to go toe-to-toe with them. Things like Kroxa here, plus Nick allow us to close the game out relatively quickly. Especially once we strap Cleveland onto Kroxa next turn. Oh, my opponent didn't even find out they'd won a fabulous trip to Cleveland. Redcap's and Noxious Grasp, another reason why these are great in this board too, is because I think this matchup's already pretty good for us, and these cards make it even better. Would I rather have Embercleave or Phoenix of the Ash here? Phoenix is pretty slow and clunky. If I do that, I kind of like it leaving some cleaves in to kill them. I don't know that I ever want to, like, draw multiple cleaves, so, like, just 2's probably fine. I think I like this. What's the last time Standard had a tier 1 Grixis deck? I don't think it was considered tier 1, but during Kaladesh, there was definitely a Grixis energy variation that was competitive. That's a good question. If Jeskai Black counts, Jeskai Black is the answer. I'm bottoming this. We can probably, the way this hand is, we could probably get it empty before we Regisaur. If it counted, it would be called Grixis White and not Jeskai Black. Fair. Fair. Harsh, but fair. Hopefully they just stomp me here and then I'll stomp them next turn. Lava Coil, same difference. Yeah, that's fair, Spookaloo. I don't hate that. Whatever the last card is. I agree that Phoenix isn't great in this matchup. I think we just put a cap in that one. Since it's going to stop our Gintu here. So, I actually think Lava Coil's stock has gone way down in Historic with the introduction of Winota to the format. So, I agree with you, pre-Winota, Lava Coil was great. I think in a post-Winota world, you need more removal that kills her. Yeah, well, to be fair, I think Cast Down was going to largely get outclassed by Heartless Act anyways. But I agree with your conclusion that Heartless Act is no longer, or that Cast Down is no longer good. All right, so do I Kroxa and take the last card out of their hand? I feel like I should. There's a chance it's like a Questing Beast or a Cleave. Bonecrusher Giant, sure. This, unfortunately, has Menace, so I can't trade with it when it attacks next turn. We are a couple cards off from escaping this, but otherwise in a pretty good spot. This is a very menacing 3/3, big agree. This also deals damage to us whenever a creature enters, which is rough. Since we hit our 5th land, Nicol Bolas is a great draw now. Embercleave also good, so we can just race them. I think I need to start closing here. I should have attacked before playing my stuff there. I gave them extra information I didn't have to give them. And if they attack me, it works towards me getting to escape Kroxa, so like that works out for me too. Actually, you know what? This is a really subtle mistake, but I should have held that land in my hand to discard to Regisaur to fuel my Kroxa. Ended up not mattering there because the opponent didn't draw action, but I actually shouldn't have played my land out there at the end. The big brain play was let it die, let it get discarded so I could work towards escaping Kroxa. Lightning Bolt. Thanks for the brand new Prime support. I appreciate that. Welcome to Oglandia. If you're someone that enjoys Historic and enjoys watching Magic tournaments, a little under 2 weeks from now, on May 23rd, we are having our 3rd Hoglandia Open, which will be Historic. We have 256 competitors signed up to play for that full tournament. Looking forward to casting an entire day of Magic with my buddy Mappamonte again. Probably Winota again. Own is cool. Pretty sure they're a sub. Wouldn't be surprised if they're playing Winota. All of HA3 is spoiled, Bips. It's only the historic anthologies are only a small deposit of cards. Yeah, we're dead here. Even if they brick on these, which they didn't, we are super dead. So, seeing how this format, seeing how the Winota matchup kind of feels with this deck, I think I want some main deck removal. Yeah, Jumpstart and eventually Historic Anthology Sound are things I'm really looking forward to. I think maybe a couple of Heartless Acts in this main deck would probably go a long way. Is something I feel like I want to consider. And then that would give me 8 cards post-board to kill Winotas with. And again, like, that thought process there that you just heard me go through, where I'm like, well, this Winota deck being in the format makes me want to make my deck interactive. That is why decks like Winota are good for Historic, in my opinion. Decks that make you go, oh wait, I can't just ignore them, I need to interact with them, make Magic better, in my opinion. Ooh, that's a good one. And this doesn't have protection from 3, right? So I could, like, play Royal Scions plus this and smash them. And then next turn I can Embercleave. This gives them a chance to Winota me next turn, but they only get 1 trigger. So I think that's fine. There's a small probability we die next turn with the line I'm about to take. But I think putting them on a clock here is ideal. Smallest of probabilities we die here.
Retreat is a valid strategy.
Yep. Yeah, so the way Protection, Double Strike, and Trample work, on each of your strikes, you have to assign damage equal to the creature's toughness. So if they blocked with Haktos in that instance, I would assign 1 damage to Haktos twice. So I would trample, I was trampling for 13 there with that attack. For those that aren't familiar with that incredibly intuitive, reasonable protection interaction. Yes, protection and indestructible also behave differently. When an indestructible creature blocks double strike like that, double strike trample, you only have to assign damage equal to its toughness 1 time. For those not familiar with this interaction here, this interaction means their Bonecrusher Giant gets countered as opposed to resolving. So I basically used my mana and used my Bonecrusher to stomp their Bonecrusher Giant in a roundabout way. Would I rather deploy Regisaur or Giant? I think I'd rather deploy Giant. I don't think I want to start chewing through my hand just yet. Nice, Jimmy. Yeah, did you see I added, obviously Kisses doesn't want to play a companion, but we're gonna play 2 Lurrus in the main deck. We're gonna put 2 Lurrus in the main deck of the Kisses deck today. Is my plan. That's a superb draw. That probably locks this up. Again, if you have access to red mana, I mean, if they paid life there, they were dead to Embercleave, so they definitely should not pay life there. If your deck can make red mana, this is the single best card against Winota. It's not close. They should just be dead here, right? They're dead to cleave. Thanks for the 18 months, Flying Tempest. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Good games owned. Good luck in the rest of your constructed event. And again, I feel like those are good examples of both, like, not only the Winota deck's power in some of those first games, but also just the attackability of it. Like, the Winota deck is good, and it's reasonably consistent, but it's nowhere near unbeatable. Easy mulligan here. The main deck Planeswalkers have been super underwhelming so far, and it's definitely in part because of the decks we've played against, but it's something worth noting, I think. We see Luris of the Dream Den here, so very easy keep on the Ashiok and that mulligan. Not only that, but we're also missing blue mana, so Royal Scions we're pretty far off from. How much for us to play Treasure Hunt on stream? I would do Treasure Hunt one time for the normal $25 donation amount. Perfect. I agree, Ketsu. Big agree. If they surveil a card to the top like they just did, I'm gonna Ashiok mill them. Normally you're Ashioking yourself to enable Kroxa, but since they scry to the top, I'd like to mess up their scry. Alright, one Kroxa, please. Whew! Whew! You love to see it, chat. You loved, again, this is why the main deck Ashioks are reasonable, because they basically say draw Kroxas to escape, draw Phoenixes to escape. In addition to being a main deckable hate card that screws with people. Yes, in a lot of instances, I think you just don't mind sacrificing lands to Redcap Melee. Like, you kill Questing Beast with Redcap too. Like, if you have some Justice Strikes and other instant speed removal, like, you'll note I'm not playing 4 Redcaps, but I think you should probably have 2 to 3 Redcaps in your 75. Oh, that's unfortunate. Huh. Am I dead next turn? This is 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Okay, so I can attack. Okay, sweet, and I have a spell to discard. Hopefully Cleave Kroxa just wastes that, or just races them here. You have won a fabulous trip to Cleveland! Da, da, da. Goodbye, Felicia. I have enough cards in my bin to escape Phoenix of the Ash next turn 2 that Ashiok drew for us. All expenses paid trip to Cleveland. Yep. Am I dead? This is 9, 12. No, it's only 15, right? This is 9. And then this is another 6. Yes. I'd like to dedicate this match win to my buddy lands here. Without them not making me lose life to put lands into play, I never could have won. So shout outs to Better Mana, making my 3-color aggro deck work. Again, one of the myriad of reasons why decks like this are competitive in Historic, but are not competitive in Standard, is because of our mana accessibility. So now one thing here, and again, this is a reason why I think I'd kind of like some Heartless Axe in my 75. My removal here is actually really bad, right? Like Redcap Melee and Noxious Grasp, none of these cards really accomplish much against what the creatures my opponent is playing. I don't think it's worth bringing in Redcap to 2-for-1 myself to kill their creatures. You know, like, Grasp kills Luris, I guess. I don't know. I think I'd rather just, like, keep Bonecrushers in for that and just, like, plan to cleave them. You know, I think I want some Heartless Axe in my main deck. And again, once we finish up the set, because looking forward to the Historic ladder coming back, so I'm not locked into a 60 or a 75 for all of our matches. But at the end of the set, we're going to talk about some adjustments that I would make and why I would make them. And then this list will get updated on my website after today's stream with those changes. Because again, this is one of the many lovely Historic decks you can find on my website. If you're looking for sweet things to play. Pretty confident our good run here is not a fluke. We've had good runs with this deck on this archetype on stream in the past. And I believe this archetype got 6 or 7 wins in the first Historic Hooglandia Open. I think it's got some legs, chat. It's got good threats, got good closing power, got good reasonable interaction. Hey, thanks for the support, Grixis. We're gonna be doing a lot of Historic on this channel. If you are a fan of the Historic format, you're gonna have a good time here in Hooglandia in the coming months. Yep, three color mana is functional in Historic. Catch you later, Fox. Sorry again about missing those things. Ferocidons are for the mono-white life gain matchup, as well as Field of the Dead. agree with that, Katsu. Nox has tweeted a couple of things to that effect in recent memory too, and I think he's pretty on point that we could have avoided some of the issues that we've had in the current standard format if things were more restricted by using color identity. Can you please give me a compelling reason not to play Nexus of Fate in the third hoots? The deck's not that good anyways, and if you play Nexus of Fate, you won't be on camera until the finals.
Any challenge.
What if you play Nexus Fires? Yeah, I'll put the Planeswalker Nexus deck on camera. When I say Nexus, I mean Wilderness Reclamation Nexus. When I say Nexus, I don't mean the card Nexus of Fate. I mean the archetype blue-green or Bant Wilderness Reclamation Nexus. Playing a Nexus in Yarok Field, playing the Jeskai taking turns, Planeswalker deck, those are both sweet and fine. We'll get those up. Those will be featured plenty. Scions showing us a little bit of their punch with our Death Touch creature here, which is great. Embercleave, good with Mire Triton for similar reasons.
Oh, shocked and shattered.
Shocked and shattered. General question, do you think that 4-color is reliably playable in Historic with the lands that we have? So, questions like that fail to acknowledge a really important deck building aspect of your spells that you're playing need to go hand in hand with your mana base. So, do I think you can play some 4-color decks? Yeah, for some combination of spells. Do I think you can play double-colored spells on turns 2, 3, 4 in all 4 of those colors? Almost assuredly not. I think especially with the addition of Ancient Ziggurat, like 4-color humans has a lot of potential to be reasonable. I don't know why I just shocked that in. I just don't think that's very interesting as Zintoth. I don't think building around that card is, and the gameplay it generates is very interesting. My opponent's like, we just got in our opponent's head, they're like trying to think what we have. Untapped land tier, incredibly good draw. Ashiok, also a good draw since they just drew Kroxa.
Welcome to my world.
So again, regardless of who you mill, Ashiok exiles their graveyard. Not going to attack here because I don't want to send my knight into their Death Toucher. Get you later, Watcher. What is Ego for? Oh! Shiggity Shreked, get wrecked. Wub, wub, wub. Wub, wub, wub. Ashiok 1, Fabled Passage 0. You love to see it, chat. Listen, we've all been there. We've all been there, chat. Are you 4-0 now? Just casual 45 minutes, 4-0. Aggro. The wubs haunt my dreams, chat. With almost 1,600 people in here, thanks for dropping in, folks. Hope you're having a good start to your week, staying safe wherever you're at in this crazy world. If you're a new viewer, welcome. My name's Jeff Hoagland. I stream Magic and other card games full-time here on Twitch. We play a ton of constructed Magic. Historic's one of my favorite formats right now. Usually, you'll see in my stream title, we have a bunch of different deck names in there. Those are all the decks we plan to play today and the order in which I intend to play them. We tend to play each deck for about 60 minutes to 2 hours, depending on the deck. His politics are on point. I am also, if you're new, you should be warned, I am a frothing at the mouth dirty liberal. That's not even true. I'm a frothing at the mouth dirty progressive. I think it's important to differentiate between neoliberals like Joe Biden and progressives. If you're a dirty progressive, you should take a shower so you can be a clean progressive. Harsh but fair. Hey, King Mathis, thanks for sharing that Prime. I appreciate it. Welcome. Thanks for keeping me employed this month with that. As a German, I see Americans discussing politics about gun laws and healthcare as an afternoon comedy session. Gosh, it would be funny if it wasn't so sad. I agree. Main deck Ashiok coming in clutch here again. Just showing us a good range, filling up our graveyard for our Kroxas, while also simultaneously emptying their graveyard and their graveyard deck. Gosh, protection from multicolored is just so good, chat. Has reach too, just like super rude against my Nicol Bolas. Looks like opponent might be playing, I believe Stonecoil Serpent's probably indicative of Grixis Breach. We're hoping to run some lands off here, ideally some red sources, so we can escape these Kroxas and play this Embercleave. I think we bin Nick since he can't attack anyways. Yeah, the fact that Ashiok is basically a hate card that draws us good cards in this deck. The way Ashiok fills up our bin, it's effectively drawing us threats. I have not, Sabrun. Alright, so they can kill Ashiok here, but then they're probably dead to my board plus cleave next turn. The Scions have been underwhelming, Punchworthy. I think they're going to be my trim for some removal spells in the main deck after this set. I really want some Heartless Axe in my main deck for the Winota matchup. Scions have been, like, passable, but they're just that. They're not, like, super good. They're just, like, just okay. Step right up, opponent! You've won a wonderful trip to Cleveland! It's weird. Every time I put Splinter Twin on my Deceiver Exarch, my opponent concedes. Every single time, chat. Every single time. I wish I had 2 removal spells. Like, post-board a matchup like this, I would like 2 Heartless Act here to round out my 60. I think I'm just leaving in Royal Scions. Nah, I think I'm going to put Redcap Melee in, actually. I think trading 2 for 1 to kill one of their key cards is probably worth it. Is this an aggro deck or a combo deck? Yes. One of the things I found Magic players skip a lot when discussing archetypes in recent memory is they try to avoid the nuance of the fact that archetypes decks often overlap multiple archetypes. Like aggro, combo control. These are things that exist. We should love and embrace them. Aggro control, yep. Silly opponent, you activated my trap card. Let's give it a little boop. Just right on the nose. Boop it on the nose. Sure. What's an example of aggro control? Tempo is shorthand for aggro control. Tempo decks are aggro control decks. Okay, so my opponent's down to 2 cards here. I think I'm actually going to go ahead and cap this Excavator. And then we're going to untap and Bonecrusher the Lurrus. If we can dodge Kroxa, we can dodge a ball here. That's the thing we're looking to avoid at the moment. Never was good at dodgeball, chat. Never was very good at dodgeball. At least they didn't have a land to escape the Kroxa this turn. We've got that going for us. Oh, they did have the land and they missed it. Okay, so opponent making a pretty big mistake there. They could have... Opponent could have floated mana with this and escaped the Kroxa afterwards. Yeah, that's one I've missed before too. So they could have done this to escape the Kroxa last turn. Something that's noteworthy. It's very easy to miss, especially if you're new with the archetype. Not a super intuitive interaction. Cleave off the top would be a good draw. You're not wrong. Decent one to get rid of. Maybe this attack is wrong. I'd go either way on that. Need one more card in their bin to escape Kroxa again. So we hit the pretty clean Hawaii 5-0 there. Like I said, this is one that's up on my site. It had a good run in the first Hoaglandia Open series. I think this archetype's super reasonable. 3-color aggro is great. After playing in those sets and seeing how the format's adapting to the presence of Duress, I think I would cut these Royal Scions after that set, and I would go up to a 3rd Ashiok in the main, and I would add two copies of Heartless Act to the main deck. Must be unlocked through the mastery system. All right, we'll have to work on that one. That leaves me a board slot to play with. I don't really know what I want on the board. 4th Rampaging Ferocidon might be fine. You're like never sad to see that card in the matchups where it comes in. I kind of wanted to fit another one of those in there anyways. Yeah, I think I like that. Seems reasonable. So yeah, I think if you're looking for a 3-color aggro deck, if you're someone like me who really loves Kroxa, Titan of Death's Hunger, I think this is one of my favorite cards out of Theros. This is, I think, my favorite Kroxa deck in this format by far. All right, don't go anywhere. We've got plenty more Historic coming up next today. If you like 3-color aggro decks, stay tuned. We are going to be kicking the tires on Jeskai Feather up next here, featuring some Dorat, the perfect pet. We'll be back in just a few minutes. Thanks for hanging out today, folks. Don't go anywhere. No, you can't play Embercleave with Jeg. Embercleave breaks Jeg's restriction. It is not, JP. These folks are great. Buy their stuff. Let's restart this client. Add roll, reminding me to resub. Thanks, Substar. Welcome back. I need to move my veggie add roll over to my Windows partition. I still haven't done that yet. I need to find it. Actually, here's a question for the nerds in the audience. Is there a plugin for Windows that lets Windows read my ext4 partition without foobarring it? It's 2020. Can Windows read my ext4 partition somehow? Is there a third-party driver I can install? Grab a Kaya sleeve. Don't be silly, Jeff. The internet says it's possible. ext to FCD is a file system driver for ext 2, 3, and 4. You love to see it. Thanks for the link. It's from 2017. That's wonderful. It tells you how long it's been since I used a Windows system full time, or a dual boot even. Thanks for the 14 months, Sip the Jack. We're doing well as can be done in these crazy times. Declan's gonna be 5 soon. That's exciting. Told him he could pick out a new Switch game for his birthday, so he's been thinking on that. My computer did not wake itself up overnight. However, it wasn't always waking itself up overnight, so we'll see if the mouse did it. I took the mouse off the list of things that could wake it up.